We have set our sights on the well-known Washington Backcountry Discovery Route, also known as the BDR or WABDR, for the next 2 episodes of Overlander. The Washington BDR is 575 miles of scenic expanses as it winds its way through the Cascade Mountains, working south to north through the diverse state of Washington, almost exclusively on dirt roads. It's been on our radar for some time now, so this year we put it on the calendar to make it happen. Overlander is presented by General Tire. Anywhere is possible. In association with Patriot Campers. And in part by Magpul, Apparel and Hard Goods. Equipped. Warn. Go prepared. CBI Off-Road Fabrication. MaxTrax. Take the easy way out. Icon Vehicle Dynamics. And the power of Red Arc.
Well, this is my first exhibition on this trip and kind of nervous to go.
Are you excited though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told him yesterday, go get your stuff, last night. Not yesterday, last night.
Like 10 hours ago.
I was like, go get your stuff. You're going on this expedition, go pack. What? He was pretty excited.
While all the girls were out on their ladies' trip, we were able to finish up the Tundra, and I'm really happy that we got it done. It turned out great. One thing we had to take care of was our leaf spring pack. We were a little low, so I did the Add-A-Leaf from Old Man Emu, or the whole Old Man Emu pack with an Add-A-Leaf, and then the greasable shackles as well. We got all that stuff from Cruiser Outfitters. Now everything rides really level, and even with a loaded truck, we keep even on the road and on the trail. But what I'm really excited about that I just got done was the stuff under the hood. So what we ended up doing here is putting in the BCDC 1240 back in the corner. And that's a battery charger, but it also isolates your batteries. So my starter battery's over there, sends my line around to this guy, and then that runs in to my auxiliary battery. This is really cool too, because if I want, I can put in solar off of this. So if you're running just a normal setup under your hood, it still gives you the solar option. This also can give us some displays if we want to do that, and then we can do an override on it as well. So that goes into the auxiliary battery. Between the battery and the fuse block, I've got their battery isolator. So that just protects the battery from any phantom drops that come off that. It also gives us a little more readout here and there, and for that readout, in the cab here, we ended up putting their dual gauge. This is their gauge from Red Arc, and it gives us 2 readings. It can read both batteries for voltage, and then it has a current reading on here as well. Then underneath here, we just hit this little switch, and then you can cycle through your readouts for which battery you've got, your currents, and your volts. So this is really handy for us. Then the last thing we did from Red Arc is we put in the Tow Pro Elite into this truck. And it gives you some really nice off-road functions. When you're pulling a trailer on a trail, especially if you're going downhill, you don't want your brakes locking up all the time necessarily, or if you're going uphill and just trying to creep over rocks. So we put that guy in here, and this is really a test run on the 2018 Tundra. As far as I know, no one's done that yet. So we're gonna experiment with that, see how it goes. We've been really happy with all the other ones, and we're excited to have it in this vehicle too.
My son Eli's coming for the first time. There's gonna be 5 adults, 1 child, but 6 team members. And it is the first time that we're taking out the Tundra on its first full-on legit trip. So we've paired it up this time with the X2 trailer, and let's see, what we're trying to do is we're experimenting with it a little bit, and we're going to tow it out to Washington behind the big Tundra, but then we're going to put it behind the 4Runner on the trail and let the Tundra do its thing and be the lead vehicle.
Here they go.
They just grow up so fast.
Eli hops into the navigator seat to lead the convoy for the 14-hour drive from Bozeman towards Stevenson, Washington, the start of the BDR.
Where's our first destination, navigator?
For a guy who says he doesn't like kids, Nate and Eli quickly become peas in a pod. We camp just outside Carson, Washington, where we meet up with Ryan Erickson on his motorcycle before heading into the back roads.
I asked him if he had any thoughts, and he said he didn't. Ryan just got back from a motorcycle trip, and some of those guys have done this road, and they took pictures of the road being like washed out. Knowing that now we need to go down there as far as we can. As soon as we can. As soon as we can, so that we can try and solve it in the amount of time that we have, because we don't have that very much time. Interesting, Dad.
Man, these trees are so tall.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing well today.
You excited for this new adventure?
I am. I'm really excited.
How are you doing this morning, Ryan?
I am doing great.
Yeah?
Yep.
Ooh.
I got my headlight fixed. So my high beam was not working last night. I had a loose wire. Got that patched up. And got my radio working on my helmet. So that's handy. And yeah, that's about it for this morning.
As we were driving in last night, we got to talking about this trip. And the guys that are on this trip are some of the original guys that were on the Alaska Yukon section, especially the second half when, you know, we had Ryan and Ty come in. And so it's Ryan, Ty, Jeff, myself, and then we've got Nate, who's on camera now. So, and then bringing in Eli, which is fun. And it was in Alaska at some point when Shelly and I were talking about, yeah, someday we want to bring our kids and start doing this. We're now at that point now where we want to have our kids a part of what we're doing, at least on the camera side as well. So this is a really pretty exciting trip, and it's kind of throwback.
And we're gonna go hit Carson, get some fuel, and then we're gonna start here. Now, this will be for day one. If we can make that section today, that'd be great. I'm really excited just to try a new mountain range out and see what. Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, I asked Eli, man, it kind of stinks in here. It's really strong smelling. He's like, oh, this was Ryder, my middle son's sleeping bag last week at camp. And then it dawned on me that I heard that he had first night at camp, like, 31 pixie sticks and 4 Snickers bars and 8 pops, and got into the cabin that night and just threw up all over his sleeping bag before he went to bed.
Oh, man.
That's why it stinks. So it's like sleeping in a bag or a tent where a can of Febreze just went off. Exploded. But though that sounds terrible, I think Ty's got it worse.
There's like an unseen cat war going on in our neighborhood, and apparently they congregate and pee in my garage. I don't have a cat. We will never probably have a cat. But they peed. So there's cat pee all over my sleeping bag. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Nate. Yeah, so my bag smells like cat pee, so that's real awesome. Really pumped to find that out on night one. Really looking forward to sleeping tonight.
What's up?
How you doing?
Good.
You excited for the big day?
Yeah.
So we got all of our fuel on board. We're topped off. We got our water. We swapped the trailer onto the 4Runner. All of that to get to right here, which on this line
is the start of pavement to dirt. It's that transition. 600 miles of dirt starts right here, right now. So let the BDR begin.
It's been a while since we've had Ryan on his bike, but it feels good to be back to our roots. Out here, cruising with all the things we love on the BDR.
Well, Ty, did you know much about the BDR? Does anybody know much? I really don't, other than having our friend Frankie give us a map and say, hey, this is really cool. You should go do it sometime. But follow it up.
First I heard of the BDR was last week.
The forest is thick and the trail running is at a higher pace with the good roads. And every now and then a clearing reminds us of where we are.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What mountain is that?
Mount Hood.
And is it a mountain?
No.
What is it?
Volcano.
It's a volcano. It's awesome. Pictures! Tourists! But first, let me take a
Our next impromptu stop ends up being the Guler Ice Caves, so Eli can experience something unique within the forest. Ice caves apparently are kind of a thing this season.
Is my light on? My light on?
It's on, yep.
Suitable footwear.
Squirrel! Dad, how do you turn this on?
To make sure it's okay, shine it into Ryan's eyes.
There is something about caves that brings out the kid in all of us. I don't think we've ever been serious in a cave.
We call it the ice caves because the cave is made of ice. It's a column, isn't it? It's a stalactite if it comes from the roof, and a stalagmite when it comes from the ground? Or is it the other way? I want it to be guano verde. Sweet, but we should probably keep moving. Okay.
Yeah.
We hit the trail and rally, pushing the trucks to make our miles, perhaps a little hard.
Came back here and the gate was open to the trailer, and we realized that both of the clamp part, what would you call that?
This like
The
eye bolt.
Eye bolt, yeah. Has sheared on this.
Over here, yeah.
So yeah, maybe they were too tight. Maybe they were too loose. Maybe I hit something a lot harder than I thought. We were rallying there pretty good, but I don't know.
Through the lock hole.
Oh, there you go. Now you're thinking.
My hunch is that those pieces were fatigued over a long time because this trailer's been used quite heavily, all over the place. And maybe they just, through doing this, finally failed because they broke at the same spot. But we zip tied them here in case they do fail again. Hopefully it'll hold the gate from falling down.
After a quick fix, we motor on towards camp tonight. The forest transitions from new to old, and the trees are reaching incredible heights. Witch's hair hangs from the conifer branches, especially in more open growth forests like this one. It grows well in the upper canopy where the humidity is lower and winds are higher. It does equally well on lower branches where enough sunlight is present. Electoria, or witch's hair, has long been used by the Northwest natives as a source of fiber for making things, as well as hair for ritual dance masks.
What do you see up there?
What?
What do you see up there?
More.
Got a really neat camping spot. It's clearly been used a lot, which is not a good or bad thing, but really beautiful. And it's actually kind of opened up a little bit. We have some light here. It seemed like all of a sudden it got really late, and it's because we're just in these crazy steep canyons. Like, feels like we're back in Canada. I think we might just disconnect you.
Looks like a good camping spot. Comes with a little teepee right there. Made out of branches.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Did you make that?
Oh no, this is actually my first time here. So I think some other guys made it. Probably had a breakdown, then they probably fixed it, and then probably tied up with this rope stuff.
Good day of driving. Made the miles we needed to make. Got a great camp spot. Nothing fell apart. We're all here. It's a good day. It didn't fall apart. We just had a few things break. Like nothing catastrophic.
To be honest, we didn't do any food prep or any thinking of food until we left. We had been on the road already on the way to Missoula, Montana, and was like, we need to figure out what we're gonna do for food. I say that to just reiterate that you don't have to stress out about food. A lot of this stuff, when you get into systems like this, or even if any camp's kitchen system, if you've got a refrigerator and a stove, then it's pretty much like being at home. Tonight, it's 9 o'clock. It's not like we got into camp early at all. So you need to always have a quick meal that will be hot and filling and doesn't take much to prepare. Grilled cheese is perfect for that.
Ta-da! That's how you make tomato soup. Just like Mom.
I made a rookie mistake and I got no cooking oils or butter or anything like that. So instead of doing grilled cheese, we're gonna do quesadillas.
Is it good? Is it real good?
It's so good.
How good is it?
It's the best.
Yes. Tell me more.
I think we may have found a new camp favorite of having quesadillas with tomato soup instead of a grilled cheese because we didn't buy butter. Problems are going to exist. It's half of the fun of all of this is the problem solving. So if you go about your camp life looking at all the problems, camping will never be fun. Overlanding will never be fun. Four-wheeling, wheeling will never be as much fun as it possibly could be. Instead, go into it knowing that there's all these problems that you're going to have to solve and look for the wins.
Shadow.
Do you believe in Sasquatch?
Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle?
I don't know.
Is the duck's butt watertight?
There's children that watch this show.
Blooper reel.
With dinner cleaned up, our beds are calling. It was a good day.
Done.
What? Sure. Hey! Oh my land, it smells so bad in that tent. Whoa, check that out.
I researched on them in school.
Oh really? What do you know about them?
They mostly like to crawl, some bite.
Oh boy.
Like the color ones. But I don't think this one bites.
Are you gonna touch him?
Already did.
Oh, nice.
Well, that was fun.
this morning we are having our very own blend of Overlander from Got Your Six Coffee. We got to know these guys in particular because they reached out to us on a profit share with an organization of our choice. So obviously Team 5 is who we partnered up with. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's on our store, and percentage of all the proceeds go to Team 5 for their next mission. So we're rocking that this morning.
See the moves, man. How are you gonna... Yeah, yes, 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 yes! That bear doesn't stand a chance.
He's done.
Come take a look at this. We got the trailer torn apart. Checking out the hubs right now. So thankfully it's just what we thought. Needed some maintenance on it. Pulled this apart. The grease still looks pretty good, thankfully, because I don't have grease with me right now. But we're just gonna tighten that guy up and see how loose it is. Nothing terrible. Obviously that pin's in there, so it'll keep it from going anywhere, but tighten that up and it'll save those bearings from getting sloppy.
Yesterday was a pretty long day and riding pretty hard for quite a while, so I always like to do a quick run over of everything just to make sure there's no loose bolts or anything. My skid plate was making a strange, well, not strange, it was just vibrating a lot, so I'm gonna try to put something in there, a piece of rubber or something to kind of keep it from vibrating so bad, and check my tire pressure, check my oil.
As we climb our way through the Cascades, we see Mount Adams for the last time, just as Mount Rainier comes into view.
We just came off this road, hitting a little bit of pavement here to get to the next section of dirt, and that area has been logged really heavy. And it just made a mess of the road silt-wise, like Baja silt. So I thought I'd show you how this system works on the Patriot campers, either on the PCOR or the trailers. They are vented for high pressure. So in theory, and in practicality, hopefully, there is an inlet for air to come in and build a high pressure system inside here, so air is moving out of it, not into it. Now behind here we have all of our like super sensitive camera equipment, and we'll see how it looks. Bueno. And like, look at this bag. Nothing.
Thank you.
Shall we? Shall we go?
Now get out of here.
I'll get out of here.
Get out of here, filthy animal.
We have to keep pushing to make our miles today. Ryan charges ahead, pushing his bike to its limit on Baby Head Hill. It's awesome to see how far his riding has come since we have all started this so many years ago now. His riding has become so good that he is now a motorcycle instructor. Adding a leaf to the rear leaf pack made a big difference on our Tundra, and it's now perfectly tuned to the icons, making this long gravel road a dream to drive. We can honestly say now that our trucks are dialed. We make camp outside Ellensburg and wake to a beautiful day.
I wanted coffee this morning, but they said we didn't have time, and now I'm waiting for us to have coffee.
You ready to go, Nathan?
I'm ready for the shot!
Let's go, Nathan!
I'm ready! Action!
Day 3 provides us with a little more challenge due to a recent landslide in the road. Ryan identifies a small problem that needs to be addressed, and Eli gives it a try.
It's moving. Okay, all right, we'll get the chainsaw.
Yeah, chainsaw.
This little obstacle allows Eli some practice with some spotting.
Yeah, keep going past straights like this. Use both hands. Ready?
Yep. Good. Yep. Keep on coming. Good job, Eli. Thanks, Eli.
Nice job, Tom.
Very good.
Trailer.
Yep, keep watching them. They're staying out of the way. Stand out of the way. Okay, trailer's coming in.
When it comes to a tire selection for a trip like this, either the mud terrain or an all-terrain is sufficient. Both of them are doing great. What it really comes down to in a tire selection like that is how do you use it most of the time. With just a few miles ahead of us, we have completed half of the BDR. But before some of us get to go on to finish it, we get to attend the Northwest Overland Rally. So stay tuned, the BDR still has some surprises up its sleeve.